Morning, gang. It's Thursday, the 28th of March, 2019. Welcome to this morning's United Kingdom talk, coming to you from our plush television studio. Oh, I forgot to turn the lights on. Just a minute. Oh. Now I've got to reset the camera now. Hang on a minute. I look like I'm in the dark hole of Calcutta now, don't I? Do you remember your nan saying that? I can do this while I'm talking to you. Didn't she say like the black hole of Calcutta? What was that? Was that some sort of selection? There we go. That should be all right now. Better? That one there. Turn off that, and there we are. How's that looking? There we are. That's a little bit more bright and cheerful, isn't it? The black hole of Calcutta. What is that? Is that some sort of mining thing or caves or something that they've got in India? I do remember my nan saying that whenever somewhere was dark. Oh, it's like being in the black hole of Calcutta, isn't it? My nan said some lots of other things that we wouldn't dare say today. Do you remember your nans? Oh, everyone loves their nan, don't they? We all love our nans. Well, I'm in a particularly good mood this morning because I've saved some money already. I'm so happy. So happy. Busy day ahead, as always. But I think I mentioned to you, I wanted to get a smaller bed for the caravan. And I located one on Argos much earlier in the week that I wanted to get delivered on, when obviously next week when I go there. I'm one of those people that ums and ahs about buying things for myself. Not really my sister or my nieces and nephews or indeed their children. But when it comes to myself, I'll just leave it for another week or another month or something like that. I told you about the chair I've been trying out in John Lewis, haven't I? Every time I go to John Lewis, there's a chair that's electric armchair. And you push a button like that. And it'll go like that. Every time I go there, I've been trying out this chair now for 3 years. And I still can't part with the money. I'm terrible. I'm really, really terrible. That's how I am. But the bed, the Argos bed, I just leave it for another couple of weeks. No, just go and buy it, I thought to myself. So earlier in the week, I think it was Monday, I tried to order this bed, okay? And it's actually a good job I didn't order it on Monday, and I'll come to that in a minute. So I went on the line, typed in there, and I'm just about to order it, and I realised it was my home address that came up. Now, remember, this is for the caravan. Even with my sort of slightly larger car than average, I'm not going to get a small double bed in there. I've got to get a small double bed. At the moment, it's got a proper double bed in there, which is 4 foot 6 inches, and it's too wide. It's only a small bedroom in the caravan. It's far too wide. And it literally is right up against the wall. And if you want to make the bed, you can't tuck in the sheets. The other thing is, the bed is one in a frame. So the mattress drops down slightly. So to tuck the sheets in, you've got to lift the mattress up out of the frame, tuck them in and drop it back down. And you get all scraped hands on the bit of wood and all that. Oh, it's a nightmare. So I said to that about my sister. And she said, you need a divan, the same as you've got at home. Then you just lift it and tuck it under, and that's it. So I thought, well, maybe I can get a smaller one. I looked around, and instead of getting a 4 foot 6 double bed, which is the normal size, you can get smaller ones, 4 foot. My sister said, why don't you just get a single? I like to spread out in the bed, don't you? I don't like to be like that. I mean, it's a little bit like on holiday and you're in a single bed with a mate sharing a room or something like that. And I just can't sleep in these tiny little single beds. Arms are laying off the side. How tall people can ever go in in like a bed like that, I don't know. Because they kind of go diagonally, don't I? Sometimes I'm diagonal in my bed. Sometimes upside down, sometimes side to side. I just don't care. I do what I want. So I looked around and I found one in Argos, 4 foot. I thought, okay, I didn't go for the cheapest one. Okay, this particular bed was £275, which I suppose is sort of slightly below mid-range, or maybe on the cheaper end of it. But remember, I've got 2 mattress toppers there. One which isn't being used because it was just too soft with the 2 on it. I like a soft bed. I don't like a hard one. I'm sorry, I do not like a hard bed. Sometimes, I mean, the bed in Cyprus at that lovely hotel, that was okay, bit hard. No mattress topper. I've got a lovely John Lewis mattress topper and another mattress topper that I can put underneath it if it's a bit too hard. So I've got that. So I'm, not particularly an expensive bed. 275 this bed is. Tried to order it on Monday. Then I realised the delivery address. So I changed the delivery address. Up come the delivery dates. And they didn't have anything until... Well, they didn't have anything showing. It was only going up to Monday. So I think on the Monday, it said, do you want it tomorrow? Which would be Tuesday. And I thought, well, no, because I'm not up there yet. I'm not up there until next week. But you can only book up these Argos delivery dates up to a week in advance. So I've had to wait until today to be able to do it. I was going to do it last night just before bed because I was up late because I've been trying to reset my body clock, which I think I've done now because I've come off Cyprus time. As you may notice, we're back at the normal time now that we're usually here. So last night I was watching the telly, Holby City. Oh, Miss, that doctor's left, hasn't she? Miss Pachenko. Oh, I liked her, the gothic one, with all the makeup and the strange clothes. And I really liked her. She's gone. Left Holby City. Ah, what a shame. Anyway, so I watched all that, did a few bits and pieces, came up here, went through my filing cabinet last night, chucked out all these old bits of paper. You ever done that? Look at this lot. All out-of-date computer stuff. Licenses for programs that I've bought and stuff like that I don't use anymore and just general stuff like that. So I went for that. And then after 12 o'clock, I went, okay, I'll be able to order the bed now. So I've gone online, typed on Argos. Guess what? Oh, our systems are down for maintenance. I thought, oh, Christ, I can't believe it. If I'd have done it during the daytime, I could probably have ordered it, but not... It was Wednesday yesterday, you see. So I hadn't been able to order it. But I rang up my sister and I thought, I wonder if my sister would kindly go over on a Sunday, on the Saturday, because they can do a Saturday delivery, take the old bed apart and then wait in for the new one in my caravan. I thought, that's really unfair to ask her on that. So I didn't. And last night on the way to the swimming pool, I rang her up. I said, I did think about asking you, but I thought that was asking a bit too much. Because you can't just stay in for half an hour. You've got to be in there for like 3 hours, And she said, you should have said, I'm not doing anything Saturday. We could have done that. I said, no. And I thought about it as I was walking out. I thought, no, I'll do it on the day you're there. So, of course, I've come back here, done my bits, and I can't order it because the website's down. Oh, well, this morning I've got up, went downstairs, done my breakfast, had a cup of tea, came back up here, typed in the Argos, and the website's live again. So I've gone in there, typed in my details and all that, got the correct address to send it to, the caravan site and all that business, put my phone number in, and I got my credit card, got that out, and I'm just about to push pay, and something came on in my mind like a light bulb. Like a clever moment, a light bulb. It was either that or a stroke, because it did feel quite warm in my head. I may well already have had a stroke this morning before I've done the show. I think that's why I'm so chatty today. So a light bulb came on in my head, and something said, "Have you checked for discount codes?" Now, this is not something I do. My best mate does it, Ronnie. And my sister does it as well. They're always searching around on internet. I tend to go to the site and buy the thing, and that's it. So I went onto the Google and I typed in Argos discount codes. Well, blow me down, I found one. And it said up to the end of March. I thought, hello, we're in luck here. 20% off household goods. Anyway, I clicked Get Now, and up came this code. I can't remember what it was. Buy Now 17 or something like that, Just a string of words and letters. Buy 17, something like that. And I copied it, went back to the Argos site, and I thought, I wonder... And there it was on the final page. Enter discount code here. So I did. Entered the discount code, click send, and that £275... came down to £232. I have saved £55 today. I'm well pleased about that. I'm so happy. Can you tell? Happy, happy, happy. Always be happy, gang. Well done, Chris. I've saved 55 quid. I admit, and funnily enough, just as I finished sending the thing, the phone rang and it was my mate. I said, well, I'm well happy this morning. I've managed to save £55. He said, how did you do that? So I told him, got the Argos code off the internet, just typed it in, and immediately £55 come off the bill. So it's only cost me now £232.95 instead of £275. He said, what are you going to do with the 50 quid? I said, well, you can have that glass of champagne now when I take you out to afternoon tea at Claridge's for your birthday, at the beginning of May. I think we're going to that one. Claridge's. Oh, yes. I'm sure we're going to need a tie for that one. I might even pull out an ironed shirt from my cupboard instead of the usual creased up ones. I don't do my own ironing. Oh, no. No, my sister does that. The only thing is, I haven't seen her for 2 months. So I've now got this great big bag of ironing downstairs that will be whisked off to my sister when I return to my caravan next week. I can't wait. We love our caravan. So that'll be a busy. I'll go up there Monday after work. Tuesday is just a normal day. On the Wednesday, they come to do the insulation underneath the caravan. And then on the Thursday, I get the new bed delivered. And my sister is having the old one because they've got a spare room with no bed in it. So she's going to have the old one. I don't know if she's just having the mattress or the frame as well. But yeah, she's having that, so that won't be wasted. So that's excellent news, isn't it? Just a little word of advice. If you ever buy a bed, make sure you're buying both bits of it. Because quite often, a lot of shops, I know John Lewis do this, even on Argos actually, they sell the bottom bit and the separate bit and the mattress completely separately. Okay, always make sure if you're buying a whole bed, make sure you got the two bits. Because I've known people in the past before that, hey, do you know what? I've just bought a bed. Well, the mattress never came. What do you mean the mattress never came? Well, they have only sent the bottom bit. I said, did you order the mattress? Oh, do you have to do that separately? Well, I mean, you can buy a whole bed, bottom and top, like I did an hour or so ago. But a lot of places also sell them completely separately. So watch out for that one. So there we are. There's your advice there. If you're ever buying anything at all online from wherever, just go onto the Google, type in John Lewis discount codes, Curry's discount codes, click enter, and just for the sake of it, see if anything comes up. 55 quid. 55 quid. That's actually probably two, possibly three. No, it won't be three. It won't be three. It might be 2 glasses of champagne in Claridge's Hotel. or 5 years of shopping at Aldi or Lidl. All right. Okay, let's say hello to some of you this morning. Mark Jones is in the house. First message there on the Facebook. Good morning, Mark. Michael Palman's in Australia. Good morning, Diane Jebb. I've still got your card up there, Diane. All right. Happy birthday, Chris Reardon from Diane Jebb. Katie Ann Patterson, good morning. Mr. Dr. SOS Gregorian. Mike Reese Ponto is in happy Portsmouth. Morning, Mike. Mark Newton is there. Good morning, Mark. Ah, lovely chap. He used to come into the Black Cap a lot. Such a nice bloke. He runs his own rental estate agent business now and does very, very well. I keep meaning to pop in at some point. If I'm ever in the area, I will seek you out, Mark, okay? I'll come in round. I won't let you know. Yeah, I'll just come in. Now, do you want me to be straight acting or camp? When I can do anything. I'm an actor. Good morning, Maureen. Just texting in there. Good morning, Maureen. The pink orchid is looking fantastic, actually. Both those orchids that now I don't think that's the birthday one, is it, Maureen? The birthday one's over there, but the blue one was bought to me by Ray Reynolds. This is what I've said to you before about gardening. Okay, if you want house plants, get yourself some orchids. Go down. Don't buy them. I wouldn't buy them from a supermarket. Go to a garden centre, and no dearer, that one of those will cost you about £10 to £15, something like that. Okay, and the flowers are on there for months. They really are. Be very careful how you water them. About an ice cube of water per week, I'm told by orchid experts. But that blue one there, right? That was bought for me on my birthday on the 5th of February. So that's been like that for two. It's not a plastic one, is it? Hang on a minute. I'll just see if it's plastic. No, it's a real one. It's a real one. If you want house plants, get yourself some orchids. When you first buy them, you think, oh, that's a lot of money, £10 for one plant. But look, those flowers have been like that for over 2 months now. The pink one was bought for me by Maureen. I think that's possibly over a year old, that pink one. I'm sure it's about a year old, and it came back into flower. If you look after them, they will come back into flower time and time again. So it really is worth the money. And you might think to yourself, oh, that's £10. Let me tell you, if that had been cut flowers, you would have spent 4 times, 6, 8 times as much as that now. So it's worth spending that £10 on an orchid, and they flower for ages and ages, all right? Good morning to Will Peters this morning. Morning, Will. Mikey Mike, he's on the YouTube and the Facebook as well this morning, aren't you, Mike? Christ, you're everywhere, dear, everywhere. Morning to Craig Kenzie. How do you do this so quickly? Do what so quickly? I'm a very, very fast person. Not always. No, I'm not. I like to take my time with certain things, Craig. Not that that happens anymore. Craig says, I was standing by the button and I still didn't get the first message in. I don't like this game anymore. Sun is shining. Yippee. No sun here yet. No, but it looks like the cloud is clearing up, so it should be quite a nice day. I was disappointed with the temperature yesterday. It was a bit cold yesterday, weren't it? I'm sure they said it was going to warm up. It's going to be warm today. Just turned off my heating this morning because I don't like that to come on unnecessarily. Thank you. Good morning to Ben EM, who's got a hangover. Oh, dear. Have you been drinking again, Ben? Not. Naughty boy. What you need is a nice man to massage your head. You know, if you come round here, I'll get your head, hold it gently in between my knees and massage it for you. Would you like the sound of that? Or you get one of those things, Ben. Have you seen those metal things that you put on your head and it goes like that? I don't like them. I hate them. So people do that to you in toy shops. They've got them in Hamleys, I'm sure they have. Little metal things, and they go like that. Oh, no, can't be doing with that. Good morning to Christina Ewing. Morning, Christina. Tony Power is in the house, our Eurovision expert. Good morning, Tony, who says, I'm sitting here waiting for my brand new washing machine to arrive. How lovely. By the way, my tip for Eurovision this year is Norway. Each way bet on Norway, 25 to 1. Really? I don't think I haven't heard any of them, to be honest, Tony. Generally, with the Eurovision ones, I wait till the night because I think if you keep listening to all the songs before the actual show, I think you lose something there. You lose, the element of surprise. Yeah, I certainly don't listen. Now and again, I'm like, let's have a little listen to that one. I'll listen to the Norway one, and I'll tell you what I think. Okay, let me just write that one. Norway Eurovision. And I'll have a little check up on that one. Okay. Morning to Adam the plumber, who sent me a little message in this morning about the European Parliament. They are voting to scrap daylight saving time from 2021. There won't be any more of this turning the clocks backwards and forwards. And it says in the Guardian this morning, the European Parliament has voted to scrap the twice-a-year custom of changing the clocks by an hour in spring and autumn by 2021. The change would apply if the UK, if it stays in the EU, and also during an extended transition period that is part of Theresa May's Brexit deal. Member states would be able to choose whether to remain on permanent summer or permanent wintertime under the draft directive. And we've had this thing every year, haven't we? Every year that the change of the clock comes round and they start discussing it on the radio. Oh, why do we have to turn the clocks back and all this? Everyone wants sort of change all the time. I quite like to leave things as they are, really, to be honest. I'm not one for changes, really. I quite like technological changes. What can I give an example for that? I would take the Eurovision Song Contest. If you watch the shows that were in the 1970s, then you look at the shows today, you look at the marvellous stuff that they can do on screen now with the cameras and the lights and everything. That's a huge technology. But generally, I must admit, I'm stuck a bit in the 80s, I think, really. Whereas clocks concerned, doesn't bother me either way, to be honest. I mean, if they wanted to leave them on the same time zone as they are, all the time instead of going forwards and backwards, I'd be sort of relatively happy with that. If I had to choose one, I'd say keep it on Greenwich Mean Time, because that's like a bit of history, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Greenwich Mean Time 000, and that's like for the whole world. The whole world centres on Greenwich, doesn't it, when it comes to time? I'd rather that than be on permanent British summertime, I suppose. The Black Hole of Bracknell. That's what this is. The Black Hole of Bracknell. Good morning to Paul and Lou in Birmingham. Morning, you two. All right. Hello to Jack the Monkey. Yeah, he's here making a little visit for this week. John Aitken is in the house. Good morning, Johnny boy. Royston, Adam says, I remember when I started going out with Royston, we had a single bed. Sleeping was no fun. Oh, how can you share a bed? Oh, I mean, you must really love someone. You must really have to love someone if you're in a single bed together, mustn't you? Oh, it's far too much close contact for hours and hours on end here. I'm sorry, 10 minutes is my maximum to be close to someone, which usually disappoints them. If only there was. But never mind. Good morning to Beyond. That's a great name, Beyond. Morning, Beyond. Ian Days is in the house. Good morning, Ian. He says, Chris, I'm getting a chance to watch you regularly at the moment as I'm off work for 12 weeks after a spinal operation. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Ian. Whereabouts are you, sir? Where's Ian Days? Where are you? Well, I hope the operation went successful. I would assume that's a long recovery time. Something on the spine, isn't it? Anything to do with the spine is a bit dicey when they're mucking around with that, but obviously necessary. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it. You know, they don't like to open you up now at all unless they absolutely have to. I mean, I've got this like thing here, like, just sort of here, where I get pressure there sometimes, which they keep telling me it's gas. You know. But even after a good old fart, it's still there sometimes. I can't really feel it now. It's when I lay down. If I lay on my back, it kind of is at my back. If I lay on my stomach, it's at my stomach or on my side. Sometimes it's worse. Sometimes it's hardly there at all. So it's obviously something that is moving around. But they keep telling me gas. Well, they don't want to do anything. They say, oh, come back if it gets any worse. That's all I get. Oh, come back if it gets any worse. I suppose I could, if it really started getting on my nerves, I suppose I could pay someone. I don't know how it works, really. John, I don't do the ironing. That's what the dry cleaners are for. Oh, not dry cleaners. You're having a laugh, aren't you? £2.50 per shirt? Blimey, they're so expensive taking this stuff to dry cleaners. But my sister does it all. And I like to think I give her enough money for... I like to pay my sister if she does a little job for me. I like to think I give her enough. I always give her, I don't know, whatever. And is that enough? Oh, yeah. But mind you, she always says, yes, that's enough. So would I wouldn't rip my sister off anyway, you know. She needs a little bit of money. I need a little bit of work done. It all works out well, doesn't it? Good morning, Liam Bentley. My God, where the hell have you been? The messages I've sent you over the last few years. Liam Bentley, I used to work with him in Belushi's in Hammersmith. Great bloke. And on one of my trips to Australia, he'd moved to Australia. I'm not sure if he's still there if you're still there at the moment, but he moved to Australia and was with a girl there. That didn't quite work out. But anyway, while he was over there, I visited Queensland. He was in Queensland, and I was invited to the girl's family house. They're an Italian family, and we had this meal. Oh my God, it just kept coming. These meals. I remember Liam telling me on the way back to this girl's house, he said to me, there will be a lot of food. I said, do you think so? He said, oh yeah, whenever we go around that food, you have so much, you're actually bursting afterwards. And we were. Oh, Liam, I hope you're doing all right. I'll send you a little message after the show and perhaps we can catch up there. Lovely to see you appear on here. Really lovely. Beyond says that I'm here to buy the couch. Sadly, I've got nothing for sale today. Nothing for sale whatsoever, I'm afraid. Although I've got a way of you making some money today. Possibly. I've got a nice little story that may help you make some money. I'll come to that in a moment. All right. Now, where are we? Mikey Mike always does that. Checks for discount codes. It's the first time I've done it, really. I'd never checked. I didn't know such things existed. Someone told me about it. It might be my best mate or my sister or both of them about these discount codes that you can find on the internet. Whatever you're buying, go onto your site, whatever it is, Argos, and then open another Google page, type in discount codes for Argos, and just see if anything comes up. It's got to be worth a look, isn't it? Absolutely. There's no auction today, I'm afraid, Beyond, but I might be able to get you to make some money coming up in the show later. John has got a Tempur mattress. A Tempur. Oh, that sounds posh. I didn't want to spend too much on a bed for the caravan, really, because you don't know. I mean, sometimes if the caravan got damp or something like that, which I'll find out when I go back there, because it's been empty now for 2 months. When I go back there Monday, we'll see if it's got damp, but it shouldn't have done, because I'm not someone that blocks up the vents. That's the worst thing you can do anywhere, in a house or a caravan. Never ever block up the vents, especially if you've got gas heating or something like that. Those vents are there for a reason, to keep the air flowing through. It might be a little bit of a draft. Move out the way. Don't block up the vent ever. Morning to Juan. Good morning, Juan. Welcome along. Who's just woken from a real brief sleep. He's in Miami. Good morning. Hello to the lovely Nathan White. Good morning. Mike Oxhard available. Mike Oxhard. What's Mike Oxhard, Nathan? I don't know what that is. Oh, there's my sister. There's Sharon Butler there. Look, that's my sister, Sharon Butler. Ray Reynolds is in the house. Good morning, Ray. Nathan says my accent gives him the vomits. Well, be sick then. Don't hold back. Be sick. Why don't you go and do some projectile sick? That's always great fun, that is. And if you could video that and send it to me as a little file, I'll be happy to play that out. Projectile vomit. We like that. Ian's in Braintree in Essex. Oh, yes, I used to DJ it somewhere in Essex. Colours. Actually, a few places. Colours and Bliss, which was in Southend. Years ago, that was. Colours was in Romford, and then it moved to near Brentwood. Can't remember where now. Basildon. Colours moved to Basildon, but I didn't like it there. I liked the Romford one, but not. I only stayed there about 6 weeks. Hated it. Tony, the trouble about this washing machine, I'm not very savvy with digital technology. Oh, you haven't got a digital one, have you, Tony? You're far too old to buy digital stuff, mate. You've got to get the one with the thing that you turn around. Easy. Program 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all you need. You ain't got a digital one, have you? Oh, Christ. It's like the microwaves. Blimey, how complicated are they? Power and all this. No, you don't want any of that. Just a dial. You turn it to 3 minutes. Bing! Like that. That's what you want. You've been very foolish buying a digital one. All you want on these gadgets is one dial that you turn around, and that's it. Make it easy, dear. Ever tried to tune in a new digital television? Oh, my God. Ray Reynolds has just got a new telly. 49 inches, dear. Christ, it's a lot of inches. John, 10 shirts for £8 a bargain. Is that right? There's Liam. Liam's in New Zealand. Oh, wow, okay. He's coming to London in 5 weeks. Now, when would that be? Let me get my calendar. I'll be very happy to meet up with you if you want. Oh, where's my calendar gone? Calendar girl. Oh. Well, that's usually here. I can't have moved that somewhere. Maybe I took it downstairs for somewhere. Oh, there it is. There's my calendar. What's 5 weeks? That's going to be May, isn't it? So, where are we now? 1, 2, 3, 4. That may well be the week that I'm down south. That might be the week I'm not at the caravan. I think it probably is, Liam. I'll send you a little private message after the show. I've never been to New Zealand. Same sort of weather as we have here, I gather, although I think it's a very clean country. No nuclear energy or anything nasty like that. Of course, that was where they had that terrible shooting a couple of weeks ago, isn't it? That blooming white... What are they called? White Supreme. White Supreme people. What are they? No, that's wrong. White supremacist bloke. That's right, isn't it? White supremacist, is that the word? White supremacist bloke went into a mosque and shot everyone. That was in New Zealand, wasn't it? We were really shocked by that. I don't know, there's just certain countries that you don't think anything ever happens. New Zealand is one of them. I think the Highlands of Scotland would be another one. Although, if you watched, what's that Scottish detective programme? Shetland. If you watch Shetland, you'd think everyone get murdered in there. In the Shetlands, wasn't it? Dear me. 4th to 8th. Yes. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Sunday the 5th you're around. If you're around Sunday the 5th of May, I'll be happy to meet up with you one evening. Perhaps at Amicis Belush's if you want. Somewhere like that. That would be really nice. Just for an hour, maybe a couple of hours that night. See what you're doing. Let us know, Liam. But I'll send you a message afterwards anyway, okay? All right. Good morning to Pete Branch, who's in Brazil. Good morning, Pete. Katie's in Australia as well. Katie is Australia. Everyone knows Katie in Australia. Did you know that? Good morning to Kushla, who is also in New Zealand. Good morning, Kushla, in New Zealand. I think I've said Kushla. What a lovely name, Kushla. Is that like a New Zealand type name, or is it from somewhere else? It's an unusual name. I don't think I know anyone called Kushla. Hello to Hugh Janus, who's with Paul and Lou, spending some time with them today. Okay. Tony says his new washing machine can be operated on his phone. Well, what's the point of that? What's the point of that? I mean, if you're on your way home from work, do you pull over on your little motorbike and you go, I have to just do the washing now. And then the washing machine physically goes to your washing basket, empties it out, loads itself, switches itself on. What if there's a leak? Water everywhere, dear. That must be terrible having a leaky washing machine. You hear these stories, don't you? People that live in flats, and they've come back home, open the door, and the floor is just covered in washing water. Oh, thank God that's never happened to me. I mean, touch wood here. Although I did have a leaky pipe once. It started, where's that little bit of water, And then the next day there was more, and I can't see where it's coming from. And it was what I've got, and Adam knows about this, what I've got in my house is very old Yorkshire grey pipes, which are plastic. And years ago, when copper was very, very expensive, they decided to use these Yorkshire grey pipe things, for internal water. Either they become expensive or it was hard to get copper, so they made this out of it. Anyway, which was fine at the time, but of course over years, plastic becomes very brittle, and it was obviously brittle anyway. The plumber came and he said, "I'm not sure about this," and he tried to do it a couple of times, and eventually he got, because it's at there's nothing on this pipe. It gets to the end and there's like a stop. I don't know what that's called, like a cap. And the cap had slightly come off. Eventually he managed to do it, and he said, that looks like it's old, isn't it? I think he put some glue or something like that on it. He said, whatever you do, be very careful you don't knock it, because they break. These pipes are now so brittle and they break easily. And if that was to go and couldn't be repaired, they'd have to replace all the pipes, which would cost an arm and a leg. Although, actually, I've got insurance now, which I recently took out. Oh. Yeah, I got insurance for internal pipe and plumbing insurance. I've got that now, because for the first year it's £12. That's not bad, is it? And the reason I got that is I had a problem last year. It was either last year or the year before, with my water pipe that comes in from outside. Now, unusually for me, right, this water pipe, the stopcock, is on the other side of a bit of green and trees to my house. So there's a row of 4 houses here, then there's 2 there, and then there's another 4 there, right? In between there and there is a load of tall pine trees, bushes. You can't walk over it. Grass, bushes, tall pine trees. There's no way you'd get through it all, right? Well, my stopcock's on the other side. So I'm responsible for the pipe that comes all the way under my house and up and in. Well, I had a leak in that last year. So a bloke come round and fixed it. I had to dig up. Fortunately, I was lucky, because the leak was right outside my house on a little bit of green. I'd noticed that water was coming up there. I didn't think anything more of it till I got a water bill for 400 quid. for 6 months. Me on my own, only here 3 days a week. Anyway, I rung up the water board. They're very good, actually. South East Water told them what had happened, and immediately they looked at the last bill and took off 300 quid and made that bill the same as last year, same as the last one. 2 blokes come along, lovely blokes actually, proper blokes, you know. But where do you think it is? I said, there. He said, yeah, you could be right there. Although often, bloke was telling me, even though that's where the water's coming up, doesn't necessarily mean that's where the leak is, because water will travel and it finds its easiest way up, doesn't it? But fortunately, they dug this up. They dug it ever so quick. I've got to be honest, this hole, and it's deep. You don't realise how deep these pipes are. I suppose they have to be, really, because doing a bit of gardening like that, you put your blooming shovel in the ground and you'd go straight for a pipe or cable. The cables as well, they're quite deep underground. And they dug this hole, which was about, I would say it was at least 4 foot deep, 3 to 4 foot deep. And there was this pipe leaking away. Pouring out it was. Little hole in there, but the amount of water comes out because it's under pressure, you see. So they fixed that. And after he fixed it, he said, that won't leak there anymore. He said, I would advise you, though, to get some insurance. You can get insurance fairly cheaply. If you pay the full price, it's probably about £8 a month or something like that. He said, because if that has to be replaced from there to there, that's going to cost you about £2,500 to £3,000. Because that would be a job, you see. I said, well, how do they do that then? Do they have to dig all the way? He said, no, there's this thing. There's this thing that goes under the ground. Now, what did he call it? A mole. This mole that goes under the ground and comes through. The only thing is, if there's a root or something like that in the way, it tends to go offline. You know, it starts going the other way or down or up. So not the fantastic thing that perhaps you think it is. And he said, I think we'd have trouble, but they do it eventually, but it might take a long time for them to get the pipe from there to there. And he said, if it's gone once, it's likely that it's starting to go. It will go somewhere else. And basically, he was telling me, every time you turn the tap on, the pipe moves slightly. When you think about it. Because suddenly water is gushing and it moves ever so slightly. Well, what had happened, he reckons, where that hole was, he said, look, there's a brick next to that pipe. So what's happening? Over time, many years, it's rubbed against that brick. And now there's a hole in it. Because it's only plastic. Although that plastic wasn't brittle, I must say, like the ones in the house there. All right, so I'll probably do something like that. Good morning to... let's have a look there. Let's have a look there. One moment, please. Tony, no chance of anyone getting shot in your caravan, Chris. No, I haven't got any guns in there, dear. I don't have guns. There's no guns. I've got some lovely kitchen knives, but they were expensive, and I'd be peeved at getting the blood onto one of those, dear. My knives are not there to cut up dead animals or people, I'll have you know. Only vegetables. Thank you. Vegetable-arian. That's what I am. Morning to Tay, who tells us it's a little chilly in South Carolina today. Good morning, Tay. Welcome along to the show. John, can you please take the jacket off? The colour is clashing with your shirt. Is it? Is it really? Why is that then? I thought that was quite a good combination today. Is it the 2 reds? You got that? Oh, no, John's got OCD, hasn't he? He's got the OCD. My mate's got that. Oh, it's a nightmare. Sometimes I go in his house just for a laugh and move something slightly. And he immediately notices it. Tony says you don't have to operate the washing machine on the phone. It's only available feature. It's a feature on there, which I won't be using. Now, don't, because Tony, you'll come home and you'll have done something wrong, and you'll open the washing machine door, and there'll be these tiny baby clothes come out where they've shrunk. You can always send them to my niece, though. Baby James is always looking for new clothes. All right. Adam, regarding your Yorkshire grey pipe, you can still get the fittings, just so you know. Oh, right, okay. So if it was to go, they could possibly still fix it. I'm sure he glued something on the end. I can't remember what he did now. It's kind of behind and out of the way, just behind the dishwasher, actually. So I don't... once it's behind there, I tend not to worry about things. So out of sight, out of the way. Good morning. Tommy Flynn. Good morning, Tommy. Welcome to our little show, Tommy. Hello, Tommy. And Ben is still there. There's our Colin. Still recovering, aren't you, my darling Colin? Good. Now, I did say I might be able to make you some money here, boys and girls. Are you ready for this? Now, wait for the story. Let me read you the story, and then I'll tell you how you possibly... I can't guarantee it. I can't guarantee it, but I could get you to make perhaps not £70,000, but nevertheless, here's the story. An ultra-rare Harry Potter book has sold for almost £70,000 at an auction today. This is reported in this morning's Super Soaraway Daily Mail. Get us out of Brexit. Daily Mail, that one, all right? Who's that bloke who keeps shouting on the news? Stop Brexit! Stop Brexit! Oh, I'm sick to death of hearing him, aren't you? Someone go and shove a sock in his mouth or tie him to... Maybe he might like to be tied down. He might be one of those strange people who's into all sorts of things. Don't like to discuss that sort of thing on this family-based programme, if you don't mind. An ultra-rare Harry Potter book has sold for almost £70,000. Why? Because the title was spelt wrong on the cover. Just because the title was spelt wrong, they've managed to sell it for £70,000. The unique copy was one of only 500 first edition of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone to bear the original impression that called J.K. Rowling by her first name, Joanne. And on the back of the 1997 original, the title is misspelt, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Philosopher's Stone is spelled incorrectly, although I can't see it. Its picture's so blooming small on there. So there we are. The cherished copy, which is littered with several imperfections, a little bit like yourselves, boys and girls. I can see a lot of imperfections in front of me today, with several imperfections, sold for £68,800 this afternoon at Bonham's auction house in Knightsbridge, West London. So that was obviously yesterday. It was estimated to fetch between £40,000 and £60,000 and attracted potential buyers from all over the world. The batch, so I mean, what would the book cost? About 15 quid, something like that. So someone's bought this book for 15 quid and made 70,000. I mean, even if you was to bet on Jeremy Corbyn becoming the next Prime Minister, if you was to bet on him losing, and he did lose, even then you wouldn't make £70,000. Although Jeremy might want to borrow that to buy something back. I don't know. You'll have to ask him. Or maybe spend it on a nice set of clothes. The battle to bag the ultra-rare book was left between two buyers who placed bids online and on the phone. It contained several other quirks, including an incorrect number sequence on the imprint page and a duplication of one wand on Harry's school equipment list. So there we are. £70,000 just for a misspelling, boys and girls. £70,000. And remember, they probably bought that book, right, for 15 quid, 10 quid, 15 quid, turned it into 70,000. So here I'm about to help you possibly make a bit of money, maybe not as much as £70,000. Are you ready? One moment, please. I'm going to sell you something today. Here we have, as written by me on this small piece of scrap paper, the words United Kingdom Talk. There we are. United Kingdom Talk. Now, can you see anything on there that's a little bit unusual? Can you see me? A little bit unusual. Have you noticed anything on there? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? I'll tell you what's wrong with this. I have spelt kingdom incorrectly. And just for £5, you can buy this piece of paper, possibly take it to an auction house and get more than the £5 you originally spent on it. There you are. Practically giving things away this morning. I am a charity institution. I need to become a registered charity institution. There we are. Just for £5, you can own this piece of paper, and then maybe, no guarantees in this world. Maybe you can't make up your mind. They can't do that in the Houses of Parliament, so you're not alone. We are not alone. Sung by Mr. Michael Jackson. We are not... Pardon? I'll sing what I want, I'll have you know. Oh, he did this. I'm not interested. We're talking music here. You are not alone, boys and girls. If you can't make up your mind, don't worry. But this single piece of paper is available for £5 or near offer. ONO. Or near offer. Take it to the local auction house and they say, where did it come from? And they say that it'll be, you know what, you can just imagine what they're like at an auction house. Okay, thank you very much. Right. It'd be like this. This is how it would be in the auction house. Right, okay. Right, okay, so where do you say you got this from? Chris Reardon. Who did you say? Chris Reardon. Chris Reardon? Ah, right. Sorry, we just thought you'd pick this up from someone random and completely unknown. Right, Chris Reardon. Now that's a story. That's a story. So I think you could possibly, out of this, which you would buy from me for just £5. There's only one. Limited edition. Limited, like the couches people keep asking to buy in here. It's limited edition, boys and girls. One only. £5 or near offer or best offer. Who wants it? Make your mind up. Boo! I wonder what you get for that. John says I'm not OCD and neither is my twin brother. Adrian Richardson, good morning. Who wants to buy my book? I can guarantee it will be badly spelt and grammar will be horrible at any price. Willing to look at guarantees and they are last for 10 seconds. Morning to Alan Russell. Good morning, Alan. I'm not reading those out, Tony. Paul and Lou, the first 500 HP books were sent to book reviewers and schools. Most got wrote in, Harry Potter that is, most got wrote in by kids and binned. That's why the book fetches so much, as they are really rare. I sold a 14th print one last year for 50 quid. Oh, well, that's just the same as what I've just saved on my Argos bed. Coming to my caravan very soon. There we are. What's the time? 20. Oh, is it 20 past 10 already? Where's the time go? It goes so quickly when I'm chatting here, or chatting away my rubbish to you every morning, doesn't it? As you can see, I had my hair cut yesterday. My mate, he's got a new plug-in mini, plug-in, you know, for electric power as well. It's got petrol as well, but I think it does about 30 to 35 miles on electricity only. Well, last time he filled the tank up was 3 weeks ago. And putting in the petrol in, because of course on local journeys you're never going to do more than 35 miles, are you? It's about 35 miles for me to go to work from Bracknell to King's Cross. But if you're driving around town all the time, he's just on electric only. He's not putting any petrol in it. Fantastic. Now he usually charges us at home. Yesterday he decides to try and charge it at Waitrose because they've got free electrically. What are they called now? The posts, charging posts. They've got free charging posts in Waitrose. So he's plugged this thing in and we couldn't get it to work. I think it requires another setting, or he said he must have been doing it wrong or something and not following the instructions. What he was doing is plugging into this post, and then he plugged this thing into his car and then touched the thing, and then it said, oh, remove plug and touch the thing. And we just couldn't get the damn thing to work. Anyway, I think he's charged it now at home because that's quite easy. You just plug it into the wall. But these charging posts, you get this card and you touch the card on there and it's supposed to work. I mean, but it didn't. Didn't get any charge out of that one. Anyway, so we went there. Then we popped into the bank. And then we had a haircut, right? Nice lad, cut my hair, I must say. He was quite dishy, about 24 years old, but he was a bit, the thing, you know, it was a bit sharp. Now and again, oh, that hurt, that did. You know, some of them, some of the hairdressers, when they've got the thing, they push it into your head too hard, don't they? And it makes it sore. It's horrible. Anyway, so I've done this. We came out of there, just about to cross the road to go back to the Waitrose car park, and just down a sort of a little alley, well, not an alley really, just next to a shop which was closed. They've got loads of building work going on in Bracknell at the moment, and there's this brand new block of flats, and this little shop sells rental. It's like an estate agent, but only for one block of flats. I don't know what you'd call that. Anyway, just down the side there's a lady on the floor and a wheelchair next to her, and another lady on a phone. And I said to my mate, something's happened to that old lady over there. So we crossed over the road. I said, can we help at all? Oh, thanks ever so much, lad, says the lady on the phone. Yeah, this lady's fallen off her wheelchair. And I went straight over to her, along with my mate. And we said, you all right, my love? No, she said, I've fallen off my chair. It's like a motor one, you know, so that not electric. You push a button and it takes, moves disabled people along. Very good, really. I said, well, what happened? She said, well, I don't know. I just touched a button and it shot forward. It's too fast for me. Anyway, she's laying on the floor. If you could just help us up. And my mate said, oh, no, you don't want to be helped up. Have you banged anything? She said, well, I banged my head on this post, which fortunately was a wooden post. So it wouldn't be so hard as a piece of concrete or something like that. She said, if you could just help us up. I said, no, we better call an ambulance to check you over first, just to see what's happened. She said, if I could just help up. Anyway, I looked down, and bless her, she's got something wrong with her legs, and they're like really big at the bottom. You wouldn't know looking at sort of, you know, waist upwards. And she was nicely dressed. Dear, dear, dear old lady. And I was really sad. It made me really sad, especially to know that she'd been laying there 5 minutes, calling out, can someone help me? And the bastards just walked past. What is wrong with people? How could you have walked past that old lady on the floor? You're too busy to do anything else, aren't you? Too busy in your sad, lonely, pathetic lives, I thought to myself, that no one has come to help. And this other lady who was there, she was actually on a bus and saw the lady and got off to go and help her. Anyway, so we've come across the road. I've sat down next to her, sort of against the wall, to talk to her, you know, to try and take her mind off it. You know, when you go into a hospital or something like that, you want to be talking to people and listening. And I was asking her about her life and how old she was. 82 years old, this dear old lady, but her legs were all like, so from the bottom knee downwards, because of course she had people of that age, they wear lovely clothes, dresses. She had a dress on, and from her knee downwards, that's all I could see. From her knee downwards, it was like red and big, like elephantitis. So I think that's a fluid retention, isn't it? I don't know what. And her feet were like all big and, you know, not no disrespect to her, but not normal looking legs. They were like, I suppose, twice as big as my legs. Great big things they were, and the feet were like that as well. And she wanted to be picked up, and I thought, well, and I thought, you know, you don't want to say anything to them. Don't say anything to them. And I thought to myself, well, how on earth are you going to walk? Surely you can't walk. How would you? But so I didn't know what to do, really. I mean, if we picked her up, I suppose me and my mate, oh no, he's got a bad back, you see. Me and the other lady could have picked her up and got her back to the wheelchair. But then I had this idea in my head she was going to go over again at some point and fall out of a motorised scooter. That's it, motorised scooter thing. With there are only 3 wheels, these things, aren't they? Are they 3 wheels or 4 wheels? I can't remember. It doesn't matter anyway. So we just sat there and talked to her, and I was desperate for a wee at this point. Anyway, it turns out she'd just come out of the doctor's in Skimped Hill. So my mate went back round to the doctor and said, is there a nurse that could come out and help us? They're only round the corner. Call an ambulance. No one came out. No one came out to help. Oh, just call an ambulance. Isn't that terrible? I'm disgusted by that. Got a whole building full of medical people, just call an ambulance. Shocking. She'd just come out of the doctor's. I don't know what she'd had done in there. Awful. Katie says it's water retention. Okay. Cellulitis on legs. It looked to me like more than cellulitis. Isn't cellulitis? It's like little globules. These legs were like twice my size, and she wasn't a big lady. She weren't like, you know, fat like Gemma Collins or something like that. Her legs, it was just her legs that were like twice the size, or maybe a bit more than that, of mine from the knee downwards. I don't know what that is. So no one came up and helped. So we did call an ambulance, and they asked us all these questions. They said, "Can you feel her chest?" Well, I'm not going down a lady's chest. Fortunately, the other lady said, "Do you mind if I feel your chest?" So she let her do that, and it wasn't cold. And they wanted to know if she'd passed out, and she said, "No, I just fell out of the wheelchair. When I pushed the button, it shot forward too fast, because they can be fast, those wheelchairs." You've seen some of these people going up, disabled people going up like at 50 mile an hour, knocking everyone out of the way. Oh, so she was talking about her life and church and things like that. She was talking about, and as she was in the war years, evacuated to Wales, and a nice family looked after her when she was in Wales. And this ambulance seemed to take forever to come. It took about 15 minutes to come eventually, this ambulance. I suppose that's because it didn't look like she'd had a heart attack or a stroke or anything like that. So I suppose you join a queue, even though she was 80-odd years old. I thought that would have been a little bit quicker. But with ambulances, you know, they do the best they can. If they're busy, they're busy. You know, you don't know what they're doing. If you've got a broken leg, okay, you might be in pain, but the call after you might be someone with a heart attack. They've got 3 minutes to get there. Otherwise, you're dead. So when ambulances do take a while to come along, you can't sit there and shout and scream, "I called you half an hour ago." The reason that you've waited half an hour is either because they're so busy there's no one available, or the person before you, or several people before you, had a much more serious condition. Stroke. You got 3 minutes, isn't it, before you're damaged with a stroke? And that's probably why it took 15 minutes. But eventually it got there. And then there were 3 ambulance people, a lady and 2 blokes. Lovely people who thanked us for staying with her. And then as soon as they came, off we went back to Waitrose. Presumably they'd load her in the back of the ambulance. My mate said they'd take her to hospital and check her over, although she didn't want to go. She didn't want to go to hospital. I mean, hospitals are funny places. I don't think you want to go to hospital unless you absolutely have to, because you pick up infections there. I mean, I've been to hospitals before just to visit and come out 2 days later, you got a cold or something like that. My nan went in, and you hear these stories all the time. My nan, Nanny Hayes, she was. Oh, Nanny Hayes in her little blue suit. Wonderful lady. She went to a hospital once with maybe a broken arm or something like that, and died in there from a lung infection. Well, she didn't have one there before she got in there. And we hear these stories all the time, don't we? About people that go to hospital, old people usually, and then they die in there of something that they didn't go in with in the first place. Or that MRSA thing when they're doing operation. That's why they don't like to open you up, you see. The moment you open up, you're opened up or have something done, you open yourself up to an infection. And they try and be as clean as possible. It just happens sometimes, doesn't it? Perhaps that's why they don't want to have a proper look at me. I don't know. Because they don't want to open you up because of fear of infection. Terrible, really. Katie says old people retain fluid in their is that legs? I think you mean legs there. You put limes. I don't know what limes are. Do you mean legs? I think you mean legs. Adrian, I should have offered her cake and tea. We did. Actually, we did, Adrian. We did offer her to go and get her a cup of tea and that, but she said, no, I just want to go home now. She wanted her lunch. She had roast lunch. She lives in a flat where there are other flats with older people in them, and they all go somewhere to have, not an old people's home. I think they got lots of independence, but perhaps someone on site like a sheltered housing type thing. I got that impression. I didn't ask exactly where she lived or anything like that. Frankly, I think she's lucky that she had the 3 of us there, really. In perhaps another part of London, she would have collapsed and someone would have just nicked her bag. And there it was, sitting next to her, purse on show and everything like that. Oh, isn't it terrible? It's just terrible. Just terrible how the world is now. Was it another 6 people got stabbed yesterday in London? 6! Of which a couple of them died. Oh, and these are all young people. It's terrible. And then we had the bloke who had the newsagent, 50 years old, went to open his newsagent, got robbed, dead, stabbed. Dreadful, dreadful, absolutely dreadful people, aren't they? Right. Okie doke. Adrian, good on you. Hope you had cake and tea after your shock of being nice. No cake at the moment, dear. It's Lent. No cake. Funnily enough, I've just got my Lenten hymns. I've just got my hymns for this week. Would you like to know what they are? They just came through on the email just before I started the show. What have I done? Oh, I printed them off there. Did I? Hang on a minute. Let's see what we got. Let me entrance hymn, Amazing Grace. Oh, that's a bit. Amazing Grace as an entrance hymn at church. It's a little bit too not rousing enough. That's a little bit more communion offertory. I'm going to swap that round for a start. Father said I could do this. They've got this very important person at church who chooses the hymns. Oh, hello, I'm so-and-so. I choose the hymns for Father, and he does like them the same at both masses. No, that's not what he told me, mate. He told me to change them if I thought they needed changing, so I will. So entrance hymn, Amazing Grace. Well, they can't have that one. Let's have entrance hymn. Hallelujah, sing to Jesus. That's a good one. Da 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 da. Yeah, we'll have that one. Offertory hymn. See us, Lord, about thine altar. Well, I don't know that. See us, Lord, about thine altar. I might have a look on YouTube. If not, I'll do Amazing Grace for that one. That'll do as an offertory hymn. And final hymn, To God Be the Glory. Oh yeah. Da 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 da. Amy wants to know if I've ever been on TV. I am on TV, dear. This is a TV programme, can't you tell? This is a global phenomenon, this programme. Well, it would be if a few more of you would take the time and trouble to share it onto your walls. Huh? I am on TV, Amy. I know who you're thinking of, darling. Christopher Eccleston, Doctor Who. Try that one. Christopher Eccleston, Doctor Who. I look very much like him. It's the deep, dark eyes, which I hope you can trust. Thank you. Mike, how long does Lent last? 6 weeks. 6 weeks. It finishes Palm Sunday and then there's Easter Sunday. So we've got another, I think this is the 4th Sunday of Lent now. Coming up. So 4th Sunday is Sunday. Then there's the 5th Sunday, which is the 7th. Yes. Then there's the 6th, which is Palm Sunday. And then you've got Good Friday on the 19th of April, which is when Jesus is supposed to be nailed to the cross and died. Then there's a Saturday the 20th, and Sunday the 21st is Easter Sunday, when we have the when Jesus rose from the dead. Jesus Christ is risen today. Alleluia. And they're happy hymns then. Happy hymns, dear. Tambourines and clapping and everything. It's marvellous. It really is. So that's the last hymn, To God Be the Glory. Da 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 da. That's a good one to finish off. So they can have that one. It's all right. I can go down and practice those now when I finish the show. Amy, I was sure I saw you on an episode of To Catch a Predator. No, I don't think so, darling. Melanie Chamberlain. Who's she? Melanie Chamberlain. To Catch a Predator. What is that, To Catch a Predator? Is that some sort of nature programme? What, predators like animals? Is that what it is? I don't know what that is, To Catch a Predator. Is it? Adrian, did you see the food in Waitrose? They have Lent Passover food. No, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. All right, let's do today's birthdays, boys and girls. Happy birthday on this Thursday, the 28th of March, 2019. Oh, we've only got 3 today. Okay, Julie Russell is today 40. Amy's dying. Well, bless you. Bless you, my child. Hope you have a lovely time in heaven. I'm sure. Are you older? Do you have children? Have you brought children up? If you've brought children up, you don't have to go to church because you have paid back your dues by bringing up those children. Let me tell you that now. All right. Happy birthday to Julie Russell, 44 years old today. Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. It's only 2 birthdays today. And Lisa Allington is 44 years old today. So just the 2 birthdays today. Happy birthday, gang. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. All right. Okie doke. Happy birthday, boys and girls. That's it for the show today. Thanks ever so much for joining us. You have a lovely Thursday. Got a few bits and pieces to do. Oh, Claire's just texted in. Claire is on holiday in Kent. I beg your pardon. I've got a couple of texts to read here. I forgot about the text. Hi, Chris. On holiday in Kent. Down on the beach near Broadstairs. Lovely here with the dogs. Oh, that does sound nice. That does sound nice. Are you on a caravan holiday? We love caravan holidays. I've got another one in May. Caravan holiday in May's. Thank you, Amy. She's enjoying. Amy says, this is awesome production value. It's not Amy. It's a load of rubbish. I'm just some sad old bloke who's a bit lonely and moved into a spare room once a day and talks to his friends. That's all I do, Amy. Where are you, my love? Whereabouts are you? Do let us know what part of the world you're in, because we're all over here. A couple of people in New Zealand with us today and Australia, all over the place. Thank you, Katie, and thank you, Paul, who missed the mute button there. Mike says, I showed my mum a clip of yesterday's show and she swore she has seen you on TV before. Maybe I was on TV once, Songs of Praise. No, I lie. It was morning service. 1979, I was on morning service from the Holy Trinity Church, Roehampton, which wasn't even a Catholic church. But I knew they were going to be on the telly, so I went. I didn't join up, dear. Didn't join up. Let's have a look. Hello from, is that from Paul? Oh, just a minute now. Let me get this right now. Simon, there's Simon. Simon, I was talking about Batman yesterday and he said, reference to Batman, he's a superhero unlike me. I'm scared of everything. Spiders, arachnophobia, scared of train spotters, anarachnophobia, scared of giants, fifi-phobia, fee-fi-phobia. It raises the question, why did the chicken cross the road? For why did the chicken cross the Ouija board to get to the other side? Why did the chicken cross the Ouija board? Simon, you do send some funny things in now and again. I must admit, that's not one of them. Thanks ever so much, gang, for joining us. I'll see you again, hopefully, at some time tomorrow. Don't forget, have your little notifications set on your Facebook thing and the YouTube one as well, just in case one or the other doesn't work, and then you'll get a little ping whenever we're doing a show, because it's not always at the same time every day. Final message comes from Tay, who says, I've got a little bit upset, but my boss has threatened my job. Oh gosh. So I'm tempted to go in. Might vomit on the computer, then maybe I can go back to bed. Do it! And make a little video, send it through. See you tomorrow. Have a lovely Thursday. Bye-bye now.